Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Inverum.
I'm Glitter Explosion.
And we're back with another week, another recap show. And today the action is bigger and better than ever because our play-ins are starting, advancing our teams on towards the mobile challenge. Glitter, I can't believe it's already been 4 weeks.
I know. Honestly, it flew by. I think I'm a little bit sad about it, but there's so much to look forward to today anyways. And I mean, you guys obviously know what the show is about at this point, or at least I certainly hope that you do.
Well,
global.
Maybe.
Do they not?
Maybe. I mean, look, even if they don't, even if this is their first time tuning in, that's okay. That's okay. Look, the ESL Mobile program, it's all about giving you an opportunity to compete in mobile esports, dip your toe in the competitive waters, win some prize money, get some experience, and hey, maybe even play with some of the best teams in North America. Look, there's a lot going on this season, so we have this handy dandy video to break it all down for you. Let's take a look.
Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles, taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
Well, you saw it there. It's all about taking one step in front of the other, climbing up those rungs of the ladder and heading on to the mobile challenge. And hey, today we're going to do just that. We're going to wrap up our first ladder. And for Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars, Glitter, we're going to that next level.
It's very, very exciting. That's why I was saying we've got a lot in store today. It might be the last week, but that doesn't mean that we are any less content heavy. So I'm very excited for all of it. And I mean, looking forward to just what we have today. I know it's the last week. We might have thought that things maybe would have slowed down, but this is the opportunity for players to make their names be known. And we're still seeing that happen even in the final week.
Breakneck speeds, because this is the do or die for a lot of those squads trying to qualify into that top 8, into that top 6. You know, that's really what this is for. The teams who are looking to advance onwards in their respective games. This is really pedal to the metal, as it were. And I'm not just talking about Asphalt. I'm talking about all our titles here. And we're starting off with PUBG Mobile. Gonna flip the script a little bit. Gonna change things around. PUBG Mobile, the ladder wrapping up here. So let's take a look at our leaderboard and see exactly how all this shook out heading into our finals event for this game.
I mean, Cold 2 BG, obviously a standout team that we've watched the entire time, has just managed to keep their lead, and in a pretty commanding one at that here, Paul.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, constantly talking about them week over week, and for good reason. They have been able to put up so many consistent chicken dinners, even over some other squads who we've seen compete at even higher levels of competition, and these guys are still showing up and looking absolutely fantastic. Our top 8 is filled with absolutely solid squads in the top 16. Any one of these squads, theoretically, if they're hot on the day, could walk away with a whole win.
100%. I mean, Passion Fruit is a team that we've talked about quite a few times, and if you can see here that these points aren't even, it's not that wide of a margin, so any of these squads have an opportunity to really jump up, and we are still got a few more games going. These points are probably a little bit lower than what we're typically used to seeing here on our ladder, but all of these squads still putting on a show for us yet again.
Absolutely. Finals for PUBG Mobile can be on the 16th once we determine our top 16. So definitely mark your calendars. Keep an eye on that. I'm so excited to see what these teams can do. As like you said, got a few more games here. But of course, it's on Friday. Our week's not quite done. Of course, it's not quite done. We've got a lot of action in store for you, but a lot of action has already occurred. I'm talking about, of course, PUBG Mobile. I'm talking about Hot Jukes, who's standing by with all the action from this past week. Let's take a look.
Yo, Inverum, Glitter Explosion. How are y'all guys doing today? I gotta say, y'all guys are looking great. But you know what else is great? plays, baby. The plays, as always. Week 4 in the books, officially reaching pretty much the midway point so far of this tournament, and we're starting to see some squads get into the action. We're going to highlight some new teams and show some really cool plays. So I'm going to start off with my Hot Jukes play of the week for week number 4. Let's get it. And my play of the week is going to go to Martinez right here with a full set, almost running over his teammate. Hops out the vehicle, gets the nice knock, goes, gets the flick, gets the 2-piece, and the squad right here. That's going to leave him with 9 kills so far, 4 by himself, and this is going to really set up his team well for the rest of the match. Nice little play there. Now, I'm not going to lie. The play of the week this week wasn't insanely flashy, and I think the reason why that is because we are officially reaching the midway point of this tournament. I think a lot of squads are starting to take this a lot more seriously, playing a lot more concise, starting to fix the issues I think that they've been dealing with so far in the earlier sides of the tournament. So I think we're starting to see a lot more textbook gameplay from teams pretty much across the entire board here. So having said that, let me go ahead and show you guys some of the rest of the plays that I was able to catch here in week number 4. And here we go. We're going to start things off here with Cold 2 BG, the top squad in the lobby. Yadiel, you see the last one up, getting a nice 2-piece here. Almost gets the third. Not going to be able to do it, though. Still a great play, nonetheless. Now we're going to move on over. Watch this. You're going to really love this one. New T1013, and guess what? I think that's the perfect team name for them, because boom, they just got ran over. Welcome to the ESL Mobile Open, and goodbye, baby. Moving on over to Sandhawk, we're gonna start seeing some nice grenade plays here. We're gonna see Giron gonna go ahead and just laser this one right on in. I mean, that smoke gave away his position completely, able to get the beautiful nade knock. Moving on over, you're gonna see AST. They're going to start throwing some Molotovs, some nades their way. And look at that. He's going to catch one, burning them on up. Just well executed overall. I love to see these teams starting to utilize their kit a lot more, because if you look at some of the top squads that perform in any of these tournaments, their nades are on point. This is a hard one to throw. This is from Passion Fruit. Sleepless. To hit a nade like this, it has to be cooked to perfection and perfectly thrown. Sleepless, just nailing it to perfection. Well done. Here comes another one. Now this one, could have been thrown a little bit better, but still, catches Jay pretty good. Now moving on over back to Miramar. Martinez almost getting run over. Tries to be able to save his life. Not going to be able to do it, though, as he gets pieced up from the other angle. The rest of his squad doing everything they can to possibly help him out, but they're just way too separate. Moving back over, Passion Fruit. Now, we saw a lot of kills last week, 29 in total. Look at Passion Fruit with 20 kills by themselves. So they are really looking to catch that record, break it from what we saw last week. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do it, but they got a good, solid game under their belt in my eyes. Now going on over, Cold 2 BG. Here goes Rana. Back on over to the top squad in the lobby, trying to be able to get into the shack. Not gonna happen, baby. They get shut down really quick. Now you're gonna go on over to DHS. You're gonna see DHS Mariana trying to be able to, catch these snakes in the grass. This is the hardest part, I think, of competitive PUBG Mobile. These end game plays. You have to be able to get those spots. Got to be able to make those shots and decide when to stand up. You can see Mariana picking the perfect time right there. There's only one remaining member left, and they're all assuming he's behind this crate, but he's not. He is way far on the left, and you can see him just get pieced up immediately, but teammate was there to be able to help him out. So good finish, good solid finish. Gonna highlight Cold 2 BG a little bit more this week, because they're the top team in the lobby, and they're just getting it done right. Look at Not Walls getting a nice shot here on Aaron Gale. Moving on over to Miramar, you're gonna see Gamma up on top. The second he gets pieced up, instantly hits the dirt. Doesn't want to get caught slipping at all. And they're doing a nice little 2-2 split on both of these mountainsides, just controlling so much of the land. And look how much real estate they have. They're able to control all this side for their teammates, and you have the other squad helping them out from the buildings. I mean, this is just if you're gonna do a 2-2 split, I don't think you can do it any better right here, because now they have 2 members also in the blue zone. This one's in the bag for Cold 2. Absolutely. And you can just see, yeah, the rest of the squads, they are in big trouble, because Cold 2 they're the top squad in the lobby, so their gun skill is insane, and they're just gatekeep city right now. All they're doing is counting the money at this point. I mean, what more can I say? When you're in this kind of position and you're this set up, it is nearly impossible to lose it. The only way you lose is if you throw completely. And with, you know, all the money that we got on the line here and everything at stake, they're not going to let that happen. Look at this. Legama just straight lasering them, adding up the kill total. That's 10 kills. And then after that, they're like, all right, we know that the last 2 members are here. Let's just full send it on in. Switches on over to the Tommy gun. Starts sending it up a little bit. Still decides to use his kit regardless. But, you know, he just has to put it away because he almost got caught there. Gonna go for the 1v1, catch it, and another big win for Colt2BGBG. Back on over to Martinez. Now, we saw these 2 teams go at it before, and we're going to see them go at it once again here in Sandhawk. You can see a nice little knock. Still going to have that nade locked and loaded. Doesn't want to give away his position just yet because that rock is safety. Like, that is safekeeping. The second he overpeaks it, he can be in big trouble. So Martinez realizes that even though he's out of zone right now, he's going to have to wait for his squad mates to really, really help him to be able to get it. Now, look at this. Look at these Molotovs from Ninja. Nice little lean peek over there in FPP is gonna burn them up big time. So AZ from AST, I mean, there's nothing he can do. The only thing he can do is hold on to his ace. But look at this, Ninja falls down, sacrifices himself for the kill. So he does get the point. But I mean, this is a very, very risky play. Very risky. Martinez is going to be up, gets pieced up by that nade harshly, closes that door, said, all right, I'm going to hold this right here. Tries to get that first aid off. Angry. Going to have to hold it down for now. And you're going to see him with that M7 getting some nice shots down range. Tries to get over with his teammate. And they're going to try to do things here as a squad. But, I mean, when you're this grouped up, it's super dangerous. He's going to throw out a nade to kind of give himself a little bit of relief, kind of take out the pressure. Luckily for them, they focus on that remaining member. So now it's just this. The 2 teams remaining. A nice 2v2 to clean things up. And Angry, they do have the zone priority, and they're going to use it to their best profession. Look at those pre-fires. Just non-stop. Just trying to be able to use the blue zone as a teammate. And they're just executing it perfectly. Putting them in a box here. And look at this. They're trying to do all they can to try to turn things around inside of this house, but they're not going to do it. Angry, able to get it done. Sticking here on the same team, we're going to go and see Angry. 8 kills so far on the total squad. Angry has 4 himself. Jinx has 4 as well. So they're going to be splitting up pretty much all the action so far. Martinez, we saw him a little bit earlier, get some nice shots down range, and he's going to try to get some extra kills for his squad as well. But it's going to be tough because, I mean, the snake play towards the end is never simple. Angry's going to put up some more work on his back, getting another kill. That's going to be 5 for him. Martinez just chilling back. Said, Angry, hey, man, you got this, bro. You got this. I'm just going to go ahead and do my own thing. Jinx and Angry are going to be the ones that are going to really finish things off because they get pretty much almost every single kill for their squad. Look at that. 5-5 and Ninja Boy able to get at least the last one. Moving on over to Miramar. We're going to see Team Me here. No, that's right. Not me. Team Me. You can see Faker in the back trying to give that lay of the land for the rest of his squad, giving some nice real estate. Now we see some really nice smoke wall from the defenders here. Regardless though, there's not really much you can do when you have a squad have this much vision, this much real estate. They're gonna pre-fire you like crazy. You can see Pyroton there trying to run for his life, gonna get caught from the team across the way. So now there's only 1 remaining member left. They have 11 kills in total, and you know they're trying to make it 12. Yeah, look at that. Nice pre-fire. They know where he is now. Kindness pushing up for the 1v1. I would like to see him kind of wait for his team a little bit more, but he didn't have to. Nice finish regardless. Now you're about to see a phenomenal play right here. Look at this. Quan from HTV getting it done. Look at this nice pre-fire through the smoke. Gonna be able to catch one of these members here. Beautifully executed. Gonna go in, full send it on in with the UMP, and just full on FPP here. Almost catches a dude out the sky. Instead, look at this. Hits the laydown and catches the toes. The recognition of the angles, and a beautifully well played game here from HTV. By far, probably one of the most impressive plays I saw. And that's all I got for you guys here for week number 4. And that's also going to mark the end of the first split here for the ESL Mobile Open. Split number 2, starting on May 10th, is coming up. And I'm really excited to see if teams are going to change things up. I want to see the squads that were on the bottom of the leaderboards completely change their play style, because we're starting to see all the top teams. One thing that is consistent among all of them is aggression, just straight getting into the action non-stop. That is what's making you successful in this tournament. And of course, I want to hear what your thoughts are, Glitter and Envira. So I'm gonna go ahead and send it back on over to you guys, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Okay. This might have been a little bit slower of a week for PUBG Mobile. However, that final play by Quan on HTV, I mean, not only does he do a great job moving through the smoke to secure a couple kills on the SLP players, but the drop shot, those shots into the toes, Paul, the awareness, it was so strong.
I mean, I think it was like a 9 out of 10 play for me. It would have been 10 out of 10 if he caught the guy who was jumping off the tower. If he got him in midair, that would be like, all right, there's your John Wick moment. So here's the check out the door. Perfect. No, that was, again, a good series of play this week, but I definitely sense what Jukes was saying as well. The team's just slowing 100%. It down a bit, wanting to make sure they get into that top 16. But again, ladders are resetting. Things are opening up. This week's not quite done yet. But look, if you're a player who wants to get involved in this, you certainly can. ! Sign up in the chat. Oh, that timing was pretty solid. That was pretty good. ! Sign up in the chat, glitter. Because again, if you're a PUBG Mobile player, you got to get involved.
Do it. Get involved. I mean, we've seen so many teams making a name for themselves, and I'm ready to see who is going to take down Cultu.
Oh, that's really the question. Oh, that's the question right there. Well, maybe not have the answer for you quite yet with PUBG Mobile. We're going to try and answer some questions for other games. We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, it's all about Clash of Clans. We'll see you in a few.
everybody. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm Invero.
And we are chugging along. Now, switched up on you guys a little bit. started with PUBG Mobile. We're going back into our typical schedule. We're going to be checking out Clash of Clans next. And like I alluded to a little bit earlier, Paul, this is one of those games that started to shake things up on us a little bit here in the final week. Do I see? Oh my,
he's being so needy. He wants love. This is the joys of working from home. Yes, Clash of Clans has continued to deliver the excitement and surprises as we're experiencing here. And of course, what's so important about Clash of Clans this week is that this is what is determining who is advancing on to the ESL Mobile Challenge. Space Station Gaming, SSG, overcome Lost Metagaming to secure that #1 spot, which means they are advancing. They don't have to worry about the play-ins. That is their reward for being the #1 seed. And happy endings, Glitter, in second place.
Yeah, and they were that team that came out of nowhere. We talked about them because they had such a strong performance, and they just haven't stopped ever since. They're now above Lost Metagaming, who, like you said, has been in first place for how long now? And they've actually managed a decent lead over them as well. So, I mean, this is a very, very strong top 8. We can see the rest of our scores here moving down to the top 16. One Hive, War Agency, Zombie Doom, obviously all still on here as well. And in general, these teams have just been performing.
Absolutely. But again, now we're looking towards tomorrow, which is when the plans is going to be. It's all about those teams in the top 8/top 9, which is what we're looking at there. But congrats to all the teams that made it here, even to the top 16. A stellar performance. But again, it's all about getting into that next ladder. If you haven't already qualified, or if you didn't make it into the play-ins, that's okay. You've got another shot here. But this week's action, in order to get us to this point, was still so impressive, Glitter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that Eric is actually going to be the one that's going to be breaking down how all of that went. So let's check in with him and see what he had to say.
Hey, thanks guys. It's been a wild week here for Clash of Clans. So many teams have been swapping around positions at the top of leaderboards, and we'll see which teams ultimately came out on top here as week 4 came to a close and we get ready for the next phase of the competition. So guys, let's go check it out. Let me just start off by giving a congratulations to Space Station Gaming. Their persistence has finally paid off. They have been trailing in that #2 spot all season long, but they have finally overtaken Lost Metagaming. And it was attacks like this that set them apart. These well-executed, well-planned attacks here that are just really, really fun to watch. So Agent 33 came in here with a Sui blimp onto the town hall. Looks like it's carrying sneaky goblins to crash damage. Also taking out a couple archer towers. He had a couple sneaky goblins trailing behind to take out the storages, and a couple balloons also searching for black mines while taking out a mortar. All of that worked together to funnel the king to go into the scatter shot compartment. He's got the unicorn working with him there. The unicorn gonna take some damage here from the scatter shot. It does give the king a little bit extra HP, and we do like to see that unicorn survive because it has a big impact over the long course of the attack here. But he has the queen join in. She's working with the yak, and they can work together to go all the way up towards the eagle artillery. Notice how he already sent a sneaky goblin up there to go grab the collector along the edge of the base just outside of the eagle artillery, then drops in an ice golem. He can pop his king ability. Luckily he pops it right after the giant bomb goes off so he doesn't lose all of his barbarians, but they're able to go all the way in, take out the expo, and they're not pulling the CC. I want you to pay special attention to the CC and also to the Teslas here. The king getting distracted over at the expo, and the queen as well, push all the way in while the ice golem up on the top side gets burned up, and the queen ends up attacking the Teslas here. He drops in the lightning at this point. He was waiting for the Teslas to pop, and if he saw any of the Teslas popping around that multi-inferno in the middle, he could drop in the lightning and he could take out the Teslas with the multi-inferno and grab its sweepers all together. But then he sends in a freeze with some headhunters, and the queen rounds back around the corner. Look at the queen's health. Look how little health she has here as he gets the enemy heroes down up there, and the RC will work with the queen. They're giving her some protection, giving her some tanking, and the Lalo will come in the bottom of the base here. Now look what's coming out of the CC. We have mass headhunters, and they're all heading up towards the RC and the queen, and they're in a lot of trouble out there. He had a lightning. He could have put the lightning onto the headhunters there, but he's able to take them all down there. Very, very surprisingly, was able to get all of them down. The RC, already having weakened up that single inferno with her ability, was able to get in there and take it down, and then the Lalo was able to work its way in the bottom. The queen ends up surviving. How the heck heck did she survive all the way through this attack here? She's been at low health the entire way through, but look how many swag spells he has left, guys. He gets out of here with a swag freeze, a swag haste, and I think he had an additional spell there as well. It's a skeleton spell up in the top corner. There it is. He's gonna toss it in there for cleanup. He has 2 blooms to spare, and he gets out of here, and that's the first highlight of the week here from our #1 team in the competition. But we got tons of other awesome attacks here, so let's go dive into this new Frozen Dragon attack. All right, guys, check this out. Frozen Dragons at Town Hall 14. Now, it's not quite the same as we used to do it. We're doing it with a blizzard now, because the blizzard makes it a little bit more effective, because we can form an easy funnel here by dropping in the raged up super wizards protected by the invisibility, nuke out the town hall, and form a nice funnel for the dragons to come in on either side of it, with the heroes on the far side to form the other half of the funnel. But when we have this many freezes to protect ourselves as we push through the base, the dragons can be super effective. So we'll see how he pushes his way through, but this attack right here brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. If you remember all the way back to season 3 of the ESL Mobile Open, in the grand finals on stage at DreamHack Atlanta, I used this attack here, and we ended up winning that war. We ended up winning this series, and One Hive won season 3 because of it. So maybe it wasn't directly because of me, but I like to take credit for it. But we'll see Fence Post work his way in here with this Frozen Dragon attack. The dragons come in right from the top corner, rage him up as they go into the Multi-Inferno and the Scatter Shot there with an early ward ability to protect them. After the ward ability wears off, we can start to use the freezes along the middle of the base here and start to disable all of these defenses and keep these dragons protected. Whenever we see pockets of defenses that we can just keep under control there with the freezes, then we're going to have a huge amount of control here for the dragons, keep the damage off of them and keep them moving through the base. So they are taking eagle strikes there. He's a little bit slow to get the eagle down. The dragons are onto it. They move in and they take it down, and he has his royal champion join up with the king and the queen, and they work their way in there and grab out the multi-inferno on the left side, grabbing out the air defense over there as well. But unfortunately, he's a little bit late to take out the CC, and he ends up pulling the lava hound over to his barbarians actually at the bottom base there. That kind of lucked out there as the barbarians were holding the attention of the lava hound, and it didn't go to his king. And I guess it would have been fine if it went to the king, but he doesn't want it to go to the royal champion. But look at the freezes. It's locking up everything on the back side of the base. Like a skeleton spell could lock up the single inferno, I mean, but it can't lock up the air defense. And that's why the freezes tend to be better during this attack here. It depends on what the arrangement on the back side of the base is. If we have a lot of air defenses next to single infernos, then we want to take advantage of that and use the freezes, and that's where Frozen Dragon really moves into a stride there. So the dragons end up popping the hound here. He had to go clean it up, and they ultimately won this war. They've just been unstoppable. But there's one team that was finally able to end their win streak. Lost Metagaming went 16-0 to start the season, ending their 16 war win streak. Lost Metagaming finally went down to a team that was ranked past number 20 in the leaderboards. It just goes to show that anybody can come out here and win these. Brian Fan Club was low on the ranking board here, and after they took the win here, they had a huge transfer point, and that bumped them all the way up to number 14 on the leaderboard and knocked Lost Metagaming down not only below Space Station Gaming number 2, but also below the number 3, and we'll go look at that team in just a moment. But he opened up here with a Electrone. The Electrode attack was really strong here because look at the CC. The CC is right next to the drop point, and if he was trying to never pull the CC, because a lot of people have been running Lava Hounds and Ice Golems in their CC lately, ever since Ice Golem got a buff there when Town Hall 14 released, a lot of people have started to use it. So he charges his way to the Town Hall, rages up, and then freezes the Town Hall. That allows him to hold on to the ward ability for just a little bit longer. He has a heal spell and additional rages as he goes deeper into the base here and engages that other scatter shot because he's going to need it. He's got a lot of fire coming in here. The Eagle Artillery is not down yet. The King and the Queen wrap around the bottom corner of the base here while the Royal Champion goes and fills in the gap in between the dragons. But unfortunately for him, the Queen stepped all the way into the base there. She did not follow the King like he would have hoped. And That could have a big impact on these attacks here, because look at that. The Hound gets pulled out in the middle of the base there. He luckily had the freeze and the rate there to power through it quickly. And then the Queen continues on using her Yak to open up walls. It didn't work out too badly here that the Queen went into the base there, because the Yak can just power through the walls. That allows the Queen to work her way all the way up to the top air defense and then get some damage onto the enemy RC, taking her down with her ability. And then the dragons ended up being a little bit safer than they would potentially otherwise. So that actually worked out really, really nice for him here. But now he still has to finish off the bottom side of the base, and the Queen going down there, while she did have a lot of positive impact as he worked his way through that area, he still has to get to this single Inferno, and the RC has to step in there. She steps into it and doesn't take it down. Now he has to work his way back to it. He's got a couple dragons. He's got the king. There's some wizards and headhunters and the unicorn, but a dragon steps over there and it gets taken down too. Oh man, this Inferno ripping him to shreds here. He doesn't have anything to get the walls open. The dragon gonna get sniped off now. He's got a bunch of barbarians here. Can they protect the king? Can he get through here? These Infernos just rip your heroes to shreds. While this attack didn't end up going through, he got a 99%, and that gave them the percentage that they needed to win this war on percentage and finally end the streak from Lost Metagaming. But let's go look at our number 2 team. All right, guys, check this out. This team is a little bit of a Cinderella story. They started in week 2. And they climbed all the way up to the number 3 spot on leaderboards with a massive win streak. And they maintained that right behind Space Station Gaming and Lost Metagaming all the way through week 3. And then when Lost Metagaming finally slipped up, they moved up into that number 2 spot, and they are dominating the leaderboards here, right up there with Space Station Gaming, right on their coattails. And we'll see how they do in the next phase of the competition, but they have definitely made a name for themselves, and that's what it's all about, guys. That's what the ESL Mobile Open is all about. It makes so that anybody from anywhere can pop in here and make a name for themselves in mobile esports. He starts it with Elect Dragon in the top corner, charges the Inferno Dragons with an early ward ability through a rage at the top corner of the base. As a Golem comes in through the enemy heroes with his king and queen, the RC goes to the outside after the 2 enemy heroes are out of the way. She can grab out the air defense, keeping the Inferno Dragons away from it while she pops in there, takes down that Eagle Artillery, and then a blimp crosses through to go to the Town Hall. The blimp reaches the Town Hall, but the downside of the blimp land on the Town Hall, after it doesn't have a rage or anything to protect itself, is he has to go with sneaky goblins and yetis, which unfortunately is ground, which means a lava hound gets pulled out. But if he can fight the lava hound and get it down quickly, then he can clear those pops. Inferno Dragons actually fare a lot better than dragons because they can charge up their beam, and even one locked onto it will drop it in a hurry. So then he starts dropping in his skeleton spells on the back side of the base there with the RC moving through, pops her ability, almost gets the air defense. It doesn't path directly to it, so the Inferno Dragons continue to take heavy fire there, but he has a queen ability on the bottom edge of the base there with the unicorn still attack. So the Royal Champion really just needs to get that ground expo down. If he can get that ground expo down, it relieves a lot of the damage there, and the Inferno Dragon burns it up. And they had to come back in this war from a 1-star at the start of the war. One of their players tried to do a drag bat, and that drag bat fell way, way, way short when a blimp tried to cross through the base and snipe off the Town Hall, but it hit a whole bunch of black mines and a tornado trap there, and it dropped it early and it almost caused the loss of the war here. But the team that they're playing against was actually the number 4 on leaderboards. It was MCES, and they put up 13 stars this war, and that made so that Happy Endings, our number 2 team, had to go perfect. So crazy. They had to put up 4 triples and then the 1-star to take the win here. So there we have it, guys. Week 4 is done and in the books, and it's time to move on to the next phase of the competition. All right, Glitter and Verum, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much to Eric for that breakdown. 99%. The Royal Champion. One more spear. Would have done those, and those are so heartbreaking. And this is my old school line when it comes to Clash of Clans Glitter. There are 2 numbers you absolutely hate to see. It's 49% and 99%, because that means you're just that 1-star of the 1%. It's heartbreaking, to say the least.
I mean, it really is. I mean, also, though, if we're talking about heartbreaking, or I guess depending on which side you stand, but Lost Meta 16-0. up until Brian Fan Club just out of nowhere from
20th place?
past 20th place on the leaderboard to then just take down the reigning champion after weeks and weeks. That, I mean, you're either sad for Lost Meta or totally hyped for Brian Fan Club because that's an insane performance.
I think it really just showcases what this tournament is all about. The idea that nobody is untouchable, nobody is immortal, nobody is invincible. Any team can come in, join the conversation, and really make a name for themselves. That's what it's all about. And that's what you can do, in fact. Exclamation point, sign up in the chat right down there. If you want to sign up for the next ladder, it's going to be starting quite soon, next week, in fact. If you want to get involved, if you got a clan for Clash of Clans and you want to get into it, Glitter's going to be great. And that's just one more game checked off our list. Clash of Clans plans to be tomorrow. And Glitter, you know what's coming next?
Asphalt 9!
Asphalt 9 Legends, the game that is so near and dear to our hearts, and then racing off into the horizon. We're going to have that up next for you after this quick break. We'll be right back.
I go ready for it. Ready for it. I go 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 ready for it.
All right, welcome back to ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm in Verum.
And we have wrapped up 2 of our games so far. We're about to get into all of our Asphalt 9 Legend action. But before we do that, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about AnyKey. Now, we've mentioned it quite a few times over the weeks of this show, but if you guys don't know what it is, it's a program all about diversity, inclusion, gaming, and esports. And Paul, we love this initiative.
Absolutely do. We've been supporting, in particular, the Good Luck Have Fun pledge, which is a pledge that you can sign, get an exclusive Twitch badge. It basically says that, hey, I'm taking a stand against toxicity in my online games, which, let's be honest, is what most of us are playing these days. It is an absolutely fantastic initiative that I highly recommend you check out at anykey.org. Got a chance to sit down with some veterans of the esports industry to get their thoughts on it. So let's take a look at that.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
So, I mean,
that's-
like we were saying, oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, both of us in agreement.
I was going to say sign the pledge. I signed it.
I signed it. We both signed it. Yeah,
That's all that matters.
excellent. That's all. that
Kindness in gaming. And now it's time for us to move on to Asphalt 9. It's time. Okay, and yet another game, Paul, once again, that has shaken it up with our leaderboards, and you love to see it.
Oh my goodness, down to the wire. And I mean to the wire. Let's take a look at our leaderboards for iOS and Android. Oh my goodness. Like, this game is always close because we're dealing with tenths of seconds, hundreds of seconds. And this last week was no exception. Yogg-Saron, who's been up at the top of our iOS leaderboard for 2 weeks straight, was usurped. Was usurped, Glitter.
I can't. I mean, we saw Frog last week in Furim's package in his video, but Yogg-Saron felt unbeatable. He was just so confident and so strong in his tracks, and right now Frog said not today and leapfrogged above him.
Perfect. Yes, I mean, by like not a small margin either, by like a good chunk, which is crazy because small margins are kind of the name of the game for this game. As we take a look at Android as well and get to unveil a name up there at the top of the leaderboard. Our back to back champion of the ESL Mobile Open. It's Elite Joe, who was the only player to cross that 70-second threshold.
Which is insane to me. I mean, we saw all of the RPM crew up here last week. Elite Joe has now ousted them and then some here on this leaderboard. But that time is insane to me, especially when you look at it, because he was able to squeak under that 70-second mark with just 0.009 time-wise. I don't even know what that actually is. Like, that's nothing. How?
I don't think we can perceive that. That's faster than humans can actually perceive. It was so close indeed. And again, these players are advancing on trying to make it to our finals, our open finals for Asphalt. Once again, going to be on the 16th. So definitely mark that in your calendars. And this week was absolutely nuts. The nuance in these races, Glitter, was just crazy.
Yeah, suffice to say there was a lot of action that went on. So obviously we need to bring Furim in so he could break it all down for us and see exactly how that happened.
Thanks so much, Paul and Glitter. Well, we are now into our fourth and final week of the recaps for the Asphalt 9 ESL Mobile Open this season. And do we have some upsets to talk about today? My name is Furim, and I will be your co-host for the finals of Asphalt 9 for the North American Division on May 16th, so be sure to mark your calendars for that. Last week, we saw the closest battle yet, being only a tenth of a second apart, and we saw Yogg-Saron pull out his second first place finish on iOS. But this week, the leaderboards have shifted quite a bit. We'll see some of the same faces from earlier in the season, but also some returning ones who you might recognize, as well as some new faces who we have not seen yet at all. But as always, before we check out the winning run on the final qualifiers for each platform, I'm going to break down the track for you. This week, we're on Nanjing Stroll, a variant of Shanghai. Now, this track is interesting as it's not terribly technical, it doesn't have a whole lot of jumps, but it does require a lot of precision in order to be fast on. You don't really have to think about momentum from jump to jump on this track, but it is important to try to get as many barrels as you can, for example, in certain places, so that you have enough nitro, so as to be able to have enough for the next turn, for example. But here at the beginning of the race, there is a trick you can do after the first barrel where you land on top of the median in the middle of the road, and this actually keeps some of your airspeed. Yes, this is an interesting feature in Asphalt 9, where if you land somewhere that is technically still in the track, but not really someplace that you're supposed to go, oftentimes the game will still think you're in the air since you're not on a road surface, and it will keep a lot of your airspeed, if not all of it, whenever you're riding on that. So this is one trick that players will use on many different tracks to get a better time. Now, around this turn, you don't have to, again, use perfect nitro, because the car's handling and nitro are good enough that it keeps its speed even without that. Now, you can use perfect nitro there, but you might not have as much nitro coming coming up to the next jump, so you'll have to do brake nitro a little bit more before you can shockwave over the river. And the reason why you can do this is because this car has a good enough nitro that it doesn't actually use up a whole lot of it, so when you land, you do have enough nitro to get to the next ramp without much of a problem, still having some so you can go up it without losing a lot of speed. Now again, at this turn, you don't need to do a perfect nitro either. Single nitro will get you around it without losing much speed, if any at all. Then you go up this jump here, hopefully getting 2 barrels, and then comes a part where this car's very good handling definitely comes into play. Between these two buildings, it's kind of like an S that you have to do, but if you get just the right racing line out of the barrel, you can pretty much go straight between them, getting very close to both walls but not touching them so you don't lose a lot of speed, and you don't have to drift and shockwave as you might have to in some other cars that can't handle as well. Then if you get a really sharp line, you can pick up the yellow nitro to the left, which means you don't have to do as much brake nitro, coming up to the next few turns where you take the yellow nitro ahead of time, and then perfect nitro around the first one here, and trying to near miss on the bus if you can. Pretty much anything you can do on this track to get more nitro is definitely good, since there aren't a lot of ramps for you to gain nitro that way. These turns are ones where it is beneficial to do a perfect nitro around because the car's handling is not good enough to keep the full speed if you just do single nitro, and again the car has a good enough efficiency so that you can get to the next ramp with still having some nitro to go up it without losing much speed. Then comes a split in the track, probably the biggest one, and here is where we see our racers go right, which is the faster route with cars that have better handling like this car does. You go to the left if you're in a very fast car that perhaps does not have as good of handling, but if you're able to get through the right route with just a perfect nitro and not having to drift anywhere in it except the very end, and if you can keep most of your speed through it like this car can, you're pretty much good to go that way. Then at the very end, you do have to do a drift and then a shockwave out of the final turn around this route because it is too sharp to be able to get out of it otherwise. You would bump the wall if you just tried to do perfect nitro. And then all that's left is a couple of ramps and a final turn. On this first ramp, it is best to do a 360 off of, because if you land just right, you'll be pointed pretty much straight toward the ramp that you need to go up next, which you can go up with shockwave or the double tap nitro if that's all that you have at the time. And at this point is just trying not to go super wide, and you fly pretty much straight into the finish line. And this concludes our track breakdown. So now let's check out the lap from the winner of the last qualifier on Android, none other than Elite Joe. He has been with us ever since Season 2, he's won 3 out of 6 seasons so far, and he is back taking the victory in the last qualifier for Android. So let's see how he managed to pull this off. So he does a shockwave straight off this ramp here so as not to lose speed with a 360, then does a perfect nitro around the corner to keep his speed, only gets 1 barrel, but then does get a perfect run so that he has enough to perfect nitro around this corner very cleanly without hitting the sides at all. Coming up to 2 of the largest curves on the track, he decides to perfect nitro around the first one, gets a near miss on the bus to give him a bit more nitro, then perfect nitros again around the second one. Nanjing Stroll is in general a very perfect nitroable track, if that is even a word, because there are so many curves that are not so sharp that you have to shockwave around them, but sharp enough that you can't just use single nitro and still keep all your speed. He takes the faster right route there, then does drift around that turn and shockwave in order to reach his maximum speed before the final turn, does a 360 off this ramp to line up for the finish line, and comes in with a final time of 109.950. Now we're moving on to the winner on iOS for this week, Frog. He also does the same riding the median that Elite Joe did, and it gives him a good speed throughout there. Nanjing Stroll is a track where the biggest challenges are not the ramps and jumps, but rather how to keep your speed throughout the longer, straighter sections, and taking the turns with the best lines possible. Frog only uses single nitro around that turn, but does get 2 barrels, unlike Elite Joe, and then goes around this turn pretty much just as nicely, maybe going just slightly wider. He takes the yellow nitro bottle and perfect nitros around the first turn, doesn't actually get a near miss, and then again perfect nitros around the second turn as well, getting very close to the wall there. He gets a double barrel roll on this ramp, which gives him the maximum amount of nitro he can to come into one of the final sections of the track, where he again goes right, which is faster in this car, and the rest of his lap looks nearly identical to that of Elite Joe's. He gets the yellow nitro, drifts around this turn, then shockwaves out of it, but coming up this ramp he does have a bit more nitro, which allows him to 360 off of it and then shockwave into the finish line for a final time of 110.398. almost half a second behind Elite Joe, so let's see how this came to fruition. On the very first ramp, Elite Joe gets 2 barrels versus Frog's 1, allowing him to gain a bit more nitro going off the median into the second barrel roll, but as they both get 2 barrels, which is enough to get you up to your maximum nitro bar, Frog is not really any behind after the jump. As they go around the next curve, Elite Joe uses perfect nitro where Frog stays in single nitro, and Frog is actually frames ahead of Elite Joe at this point in the race. He goes by the car to get his nitro bar up to full, and then they both shockwave straight off this ramp over the river. Then again, we see a little difference after they land as Elite Joe goes into perfect nitro around this turn and Frog stays in single. It seems to be working out for him pretty well so far, as he is just slightly ahead still at this point in the race. But here's where Elite Joe begins to make up for some of those lost frames from earlier. He takes a shorter racing line around these turns here, keeps slightly better speed through there, and is able to pick up the yellow nitro on the left side, giving him more nitro coming into this section. So they both pass that truck back there at around the same time. Frog gets a perfect run, bringing him back up to Elite Joe's nitro, but then Elite Joe gets a perfect run, giving him a little bit more nitro advantage throughout the next section. They both go around the next turn with perfect nitro, again basically neck and neck, and although Elite Joe does have more nitro coming into this jump, Frog manages to keep pretty much just as much speed, with both of them getting 2 barrels, and so they both land with relatively similar nitro. Since Elite Joe's and Frog's runs are now pretty much identical down to the frame at this point in the race, we know that something must have happened differently to them in the last quarter of the race. Here we can see Elite Joe beginning to get a little bit of a lead over Frog as he takes a shorter racing line around this curve, reaching the yellow nitro bottle first, and mainly these tighter curves are what allow him to pull ahead toward the end of the race because they both do the same sort of shockwave. Even though Frog has a bit more nitro coming into the end, Elite Joe has a nearly perfect landing after this jump, allowing him to get a very tight turn. He goes off the ramp, does go a bit over to the left, hitting the side, but this doesn't really slow him down much, and he's able to come into the finish line just ahead of Frog. And so we have the standings for the final week of qualifiers for this season in Asphalt 9. On the Android side, in first place is Elite Joe, then Elite Huracan in second, and TGL in third. On the iOS side, we have Frog coming in first, Yogg Saran coming in second, and Quiet Riot 92 coming in third. Congratulations to everyone who made it this far in the qualifiers, and I can't wait to see and cast your runs for the final rounds. Again, these will be held on May 16th. I will be co-hosting them along with Inverum, and it's going to be a lot of fun, just like the series was to make, so I hope to see all of you there. My name is Furum, this has been your 4th and final week of Asphalt 9 recaps, and now back to Paul and Glitter.
I have to say, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be sad for some of our future episodes not having the joyous experience that is Asphalt 9 as our ladder's coming to a close, but huge shout outs to Ferrum for the amazing recaps week over week. And like you said, 16th, mark your calendars. We're going to be here for the plans, but the day is not done. We got to keep trucking ahead just like our racers. Got to go fast. We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, Clash Royale. I'll see you in a few.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Glitter Explosion.
And I'm in Barum.
And we are moving right along straight into our leaderboards here for Clash Royale. And this is probably the most insane of all of the insane changes that we have seen this week yet, Paul.
Arriba! Up there at the top. Oh my goodness. There were expectations. Glitter, there were expectations. Jaco, Zod, Ruby, they've been up there over and over again at the top, and they've just been slipping, sliding down that leaderboard, and Arriba able to take it here in week number 4 out of nowhere to take that number 1 spot.
Yeah, we have literally talked about every single name on this list in previous weeks, with the exception of our first and second place. I just, how our first, second place players have managed in the final moments just sneak into a solid first and second place position. I mean, I was not prepared for that. I'm not going to lie.
I was floored. There were storylines we were developing with all these other players. We were looking. It's the week over week. It's the consistency. It's how the meta's evolving, what decks they're bringing out, how the pro play is influencing. And now it's all out the window. We got new players. We got new names, but that's what the Mobile Open is all about. And who better to break down all the action than Rich Slayton? So let's send it over to him to tell you what happened this week.
Thanks, Paul and Glitter. I'm Rich Slayton from Clash Royale League, and this is your Week 4 check-in for the ESL Mobile Open in North America. Big shakeups this week, both in the leaderboards and in the meta. Let's kick things off by looking at our deck of the week. The top deck this week is Lava Miner E-Barbs. This deck, of course, a variation on the long-standing Lava Miner archetype, often with barbarians, often played with guards, but Lava Miner E-Barbs, of course, yet another deck benefiting from how strong the elite barbarians are right now. And this deck in particular, this construction is doing well because of how popular the Electro Giant is, and this deck matches up very well. Whether it's playing defense and then turning into big-time counter pushes, or going opposite lane when someone overcommits early with that 8 elixir Electro Giant, this deck has a pretty solid matchup over one of the most popular decks in the meta right now, and is a mainstay of competitive play in this ESL event. Top score on ladder so far of 74-34, so maybe if you pick it up, you'll be the first person to push this one to 8K. Talking about shakeups, of course, there's been some changes in the standings. Jaco, Ruby, and Zod, 3 mainstays so far in the top 3, all have fallen out of the podium for the moment. Still ranked, still in that top 10, but none of those 3 currently on the top of the leaderboards. Of course, Bachi, who was our number 1 last week, has also fallen a bit, and they all have to be careful because Kazim, the American, now 4-0, creeping up behind them. But the important thing here is now we have 2 new players on top of the leaderboard. First, let's take a look at our second place player, Alex. Alex, 1199, shot up the ranks on the back of a 5-game winning streak, has been in the mix for a while, but this run took him almost all the way to the top, and he's done it with great deck variants. Some players have been not quite one-tricking, but definitely leaning on certain archetypes throughout this event, but Alex has been playing Royal Giant decks, Electro Giant, Mega Knight Graveyard, P.E.K.K.A. Graveyard, double bait Royal Hogs, and even an excellent snipe against our leader with 3 Musketeers. In fact, he is the only player in this competition so far to take a match off our new number 1 player, and a big part of that is his deck selection. Talking about that number 1 player, there's a new man on top, and his name is Arriba, but he spells it with 2 E's. Arriba, top player right now, number 1 overall in the competition, and he has been doing it primarily based off that deck that we featured earlier, that Lava Miner E-Barbs deck. He has played that to absolute perfection, made some good choices in going to other archetypes throughout this event to keep getting those wins, and he has faced almost everybody. And again, like I said before, the only person to take him out so far is our number 2, Alex, 1199. Arriba, no one knows who he is so far. No one knows that this is a mini or the main account, but we do know is that he is playing phenomenally well and currently number 1 in our standings. Now that we're all caught up with our standings, let's go ahead and jump into our game of the week, featuring a contender who has just fallen out of the top 3 in Zod, up against a player trying to push his way up in those rankings, the Master. And here we go. The Master top of your screen, Zod at the bottom. The Master running a graveyard variation. Zod running what looks like Giant Double Prince. We'll see if the Classic Prince is in this deck as well as we get deeper into this matchup. The Master cycling Skeletons to open things up and setting down with the Goblin Hut. We'll keep those spawners coming in throughout the 3 to 5 minutes of gameplay here. And yes, Giant Dark Prince, and you see the Classic Prince in the hole there for Zod as well. So going very, very classic meta here is our one-time top 3 player in Zod. And this push getting stopped fairly easily, and a pretty heavy counter push going the opposite direction. That zap will clean it up pretty easily, and it does. No significant damage. First 45 seconds away, 24-67. The only damage done so far on that bottom right-hand tower of Zod. And we do see just some cycle play out of the Master as he sets up his next Goblin Hut. Maybe about an elixir ahead. As the Mega Minion does get set up, Dark Prince down low. Classic Prince ready to go if necessary, but now going to put that Giant on roller skates with the Dark Prince pushing behind. Baby Dragon working on defense right now for the Master. Plenty of DPS. We'll see at what point Zod starts to push, though. Zod has plenty of defensive answers here, especially in single and even double elixir. The big question is going to be, of course, how he defends those graveyards as they come in. Can he defend effectively and turn into a counter push? Fireball, of course, not optimal for a graveyard. Zap can clear things off, though. Dark Prince could be worse. Ewiz could be worse. And that Barb Barrel forces out. Wow. Does not pull the Prince correctly into the Goblin Hut. Forces the Valkyrie to be played, and just like that, the tables have turned. Slight elixir lead now for Zod as we go into double elixir time, and he sets up into the Valkyrie in the left-hand lane. Baby Dragon, Mega Minion now for the Master, still pressuring the right-hand side with that Goblin Hut, and Skeletons do not pick up the Miner quite correctly for the Master. So little mechanical errors so far for the Master early on. And those will begin to stack up. Speaking of stacking up, 2 Princes on the right-hand side, Classic and Dark Prince now with the Giant behind. But good tankers in the left-hand lane. Fireball clears one out. Graveyard going to do some significant damage here. Zap does stop things, but that's still a huge blow on the left-hand lane. A massive blow on the left-hand lane. Oh my word, down to 530, 397 HP. But look at the damage on the right-hand side done at the exact same time here by Zod. As we go into sudden death overtime, 1373 to 397. Difficult task for Zod here to play defense. The Master in a pretty good spot now that we are in double elixir final 2 minutes and has a massive lead, a huge advantage at the moment. Has to be careful not to overcommit on the left. Just let the win come as it may. And this poison cycle going to be good here for the Master as the Giant goes to the right-hand side. Dark Prince sets up behind. Classic Prince in the left-hand lane. This Goblin Hut giving fits and nightmares as well for Zod as he tries to break into that next level. Second Giant down now. Dark Prince not able to get to those stab or spear goblins coming out of the Goblin Hut, but now working on that Valkyrie. New Goblin Hut down to pull. Miner going to work on the back end. Fireball comes in trying to get that Giant on tower. Zap, a nice zap there to get the DPS off the board. And now just like that, 347 to 213. This is very close, folks. Final minute on its way. Triple elixir incoming. Graveyard down on the left-hand side. Dark Prince cycle maybe a stab early there for Zod. Ewiz trying to work against the poison. Fireball trying to get in there and doesn't do it in time. Could not get enough damage on the right-hand side. The Skeleton stacked up and a big win for the Master. You gotta love those close finishes coming down to the wire. The Master played smart defense, a couple technical errors there early on, but nothing he couldn't recover from. Controlled the Giant Double Prince, caught the Miner at the end, which was so key there, keeping the damage off tower and getting the pressure on just right. GG, well played. I know you're watching at home going, hey, I can play better than that. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Go to play.esl.com and sign up, and maybe we'll see you next week here for another ESL Mobile Open North American recap and Clash Royale. I'm Rich Slayton. See you next time. Back to you, Paul and Glitter.
I mean, you heard it there. If you want to be involved, if you want to sign up for Clash Royale, exclamation point sign up, that's the place to do it right here. Another insane week, so close. Nail biters there at the end. But still, got to give props to all the players who made it here and the crazy upsets we've been seeing all episode long. And it's not done yet. Brawl Stars is up next, leading into our play-ins as soon as we need to head to a short break. And when we come back, it's all about Brawl Stars. We'll see you in a few. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL Mobile Open. I'm Inverum.
I'm Glitter Explosion.
And we are here with our final game of the day for our fourth recap, the end of ladder number 1. And it's all about Brawl Stars. Glitter, let's take a look at our leaderboard. Let's see how it all shook out.
I'm very excited for this one. I mean, obviously, Tribe Gaming has been dominant the entire time, so they are very solidly in first place on our leaderboard. But then moving down the list, a lot of these teams were able to hold on to where they were, and that's just impressive. IX Gaming, they're in second place. Moving on down the list, some recognizable names in STMN Esports.
SFLian changing their name, and now Aqua down there in 7th place. IX Academy steadily increasing. And of course, congratulations to Tribe Gaming with that number 1 spot. They secure themselves a place in the ESL Mobile Challenge ahead of our play-ins, which are happening in just a few minutes. So take a look at the rest of the leaderboard as well. Teams so close to making it into our top 8. I'm sure they will be back next time for our next ladder, though.
Yeah, they have to be, right? I mean, it's a week away, so make sure people are signing up and getting in for your opportunity to do that. But It's time for us to see what happened in our final week. Now, before we get a chance to talk with him for the play-ins, let's check in with Ash so he can give us a little bit of a recap for what happened here in our final week.
What's up, guys? I'm Ash, and welcome to week 4 of the ESL Mobile Open, where we're going to be covering some of the best teams in North America. We're going to be looking over their games, analyze some of their key strategies, and try to learn from them. So, without further ado, let's dive into our first game. Alright guys, our first game is going to be between STMN Esports at the bottom and DN at the top. Now the first thing you're going to notice, DN is not using a bow on this map. In competitive Snake Prairie, you almost always see bow using for his vision, but DN doesn't need it. They have a perfect composition with a healer, Poco, and speed support with Max. And then they have Rosa to provide vision and scouting with the unfriendly bushes gadget. So excellent start for them. Already started with 5 stars as opposed to STMN down 5. OG's gonna come in right here aggressively. Is he gonna be able to get a kill? No, he's not, because of Poco. Poco's just gonna heal all the damage and prevent OG from getting that kill. OG's gonna get taken out, and then Bobby with the counter. He's gonna pull Jigsaw and get the 3 stars. So STMN still down 4 stars. Looking really good for DN. Max is running the supercharged star power, meaning the more Max runs around, she's going to be able to charge supers freely and then just support speed to her teammates. Jinx is going to come in aggressively on the left, and you can see Poco staying right by her side to provide heal. Looking really good for DN, but look at OG. Very smart play coming in from behind, flanking in to provide a trap. That's going to be a great push for STMN. OG's going to get the kill, cutting the deficit down to only 2 now. Wow, OG got another kill. So now they're only down 3 stars. STMN did a great job right there, cutting the deficit to only 3 stars. Let's see, Bobby has his pull. He's gonna go for it. Excellent pull, down 1 star now. OG's gonna target the Poco and Rosa. OG is gonna be able to take out the Poco, get the lead, 1 star lead. Are they gonna be able to finish? Bobby with the pull. Oh my goodness, Jigsaw just hanging by a thread right there, and DN survived, winning by 2 stars without bow in Snake Prairie. That was so close at the end right there. Wow. Let's quickly go over this awesome play here. Check out OG's position. He's coming in from the right here, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna flank. He's gonna come in from behind to trap the enemy team. As you can see, DN, their whole team is all grouped up right here. So this is a perfect opportunity for OG to come from the right, and his teammates right here at the bottom. You can see both Bobby and Alec with their supers ready. All Alec has to do is provide vision with his Eagle Eye star power, and that's gonna allow Bobby to get an easy pull for him to get a kill. But it didn't work out, and the reason it didn't work out was because DN was 1 step ahead. They realized that, and what they did was they bolted back. They had their Max using her super, and they're gonna run away from the range of Bobby. As you can see, playing it very smart. Jigsaw protecting his teammates by staying in front, so Bobby's not going to go for a pull on the Rosa because he wants to pull the Poco and Max, so they're going to keep their distance. And then Jigsaw making a really good play right here, going aggressive with his super. He went back against Alec and Bobby, knowing that they're going to be behind, trying to go for a pull. So excellent counter by DN right there to prevent OG from flanking in, trapping them, and taking the lead. So they were able to prevent that and keep the lead 13-10. So awesome plays by both teams. The next game is going to be between Double O at the bottom and DN again at the top. This time though, we have Heist, Kaboom Canyon, and both teams running mirror compositions. I love that they're running Crow and Nanny, 2 brawlers that are very underrated, especially on this map. They're very powerful brawlers. I love that both teams are running it. And of course, they're also running Colette. Colette's the best brawler to use on this map. She's an absolute monster. One super from her does about 13% on the high save. So looking really good for DN here. They got a 3v1. They're going to push up. Toast is trying his best to prevent them from getting to a safe. And then Toast is going to use his super. And that's going to land on the Crow. So that was a great super by Toast to finish off the Crow. And now, let's see, does Double O get control? We have Jigsaw trying to make a play. He decided to go for the Colette rather than teleport. And now that's going to allow Jigsaw and his team to now push up 3v1 again. So it's going back and forth. This is going to be a thriller, guys. Deleted user at very low health with his Colette, trying to stay up, but he's going to get taken down. Fade right now in a bad position. Mickey Mouse is going to use his super with Colette. That's going to deal a ton of damage. So looking great for DN right now. SND is going to jump in with his Crow and add in more damage. Looking at very good for DN. With the lead, but now look, Toast alone here got 2 quick shots, and it's gonna deal a lot of damage because Nanny with the one hit, guys, one direct hit from Nanny does 2,940 damage. That's a ton of damage, about 6% damage with just a single shot. So you definitely don't want Nanny on your save. So what Toast is gonna do is he might teleport up here with his super. He's gonna go all the way up there. Fade's gonna jump in, eliminate the enemy Crow. Look at Toast's position. He's gonna go around the wall, get a couple more hits on that save. And then we have Deleted User with his super Colette. That's going to be about 13%. Deleted User staying alive right there. Juking shots. Got his super and then used another one. Down to 16% on their save. And Deleted User, I think he's going to get a couple more hits. Take it down to 10%. Jigsaw trying to get as much damage as he can to get the lead back. He took them down to 25%. So we got 25 to 10%. Only 8 seconds left now, though. I don't know if DN can get it. Mickey Mouse trying his best to get up there, but couldn't. Got quickly taken down. And that's going to be a win for Double O. What a thriller. Wow. Alright guys, let's go over a few plays that I was just super impressed with. Check this out. You guys seeing this peep right here? There's a peep coming in, and then we have Fade and Deleted User sticking together. So what do you do in this situation? What do you do when you have an enemy peep? Well, one thing you don't do is you don't let that peep get to your safe, because what Jigsaw can do, if he can safely get to the safe right there, is he can teleport and deal a ton of damage. So knowing that, Deleted User and Fade, what they did was pretty funny. Well, they both had the right idea, which was, you know, you got to take the hit. You got to take the hit against the peep. But what they did was they both took the hit. It was only supposed to be one of them, and it should have been Deleted User. Deleted User should have been the player to take the hit, because of course he's only at 16 health, and Fade should not have taken that hit. But because both of them had the right idea, they both died, giving Jigsaw an amazing double kill. Wow. Okay, now the next play I want to go over is by Toast right here. He's got his super with his Nanny, and you can see he's trying to make his way all the way up there, and then he's gonna teleport. He's gonna teleport to this position. Now, why this position? Well, I'll explain why. This is an amazing play by Toast. I love it. Absolutely love this play, because what it does is now it makes the enemy force their attention on him. If Jigsaw, as you can see, if Jigsaw ignores Toast, what Toast can simply do is he can just circle the wall all day. He can just go around this wall all day and target the enemy safe. So if Jigsaw, for example, comes in from this direction, Toast can just go over here around the wall and then just shoot the safe safely. And this forces the enemy, guys, this forces Mickey Mouse right here at the back to help Jigsaw double team. They have to double team Toast. If they don't double team Toast, Toast, like I said, can just freely target that safe. And what this means is it's going to allow Toast and his teammates to push up. They can now freely. Deleted User can push up. Fade can come back and he can push up. And they're going to get an amazing push this way, all thanks to Toast. And that's exactly what happened. Check this out. Toast is going to go around the wall, and he's going to target that safe, getting a lot of damage. You can see Deleted User making his way, got his super on the safe as well. That's going to deal a lot more damage. Deleted User also, MVP moves right there with that super, did a ton of damage, taking the lead that way. Wow, those two games were thrillers. It came down to the wire. I love the two maps, by the way, Snake Prairie and Kaboom Canyon. Those are like two of my favorite maps in the game. Had a lot of fun. Hope you guys had a lot of fun watching. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys until next time. Let's head back to the desk now.
Always nice to hear from Ash. And the movement on deleted user in those final plays to avoid death with just a shred of health while also getting super onto safe. I mean, that was a strong game to close everything out with.
Breaking ankles. The thumbs just doing it. And look, that's some sick Brawl Stars action. And that Brawl Stars action is only starting now. The play-ins are up next. Glitter, which unfortunately means we have to say goodbye to you.
Oh, I don't get to stay?
I mean, maybe we could quickly build some graphics. Hang on. No, we can make them. Hang on. Now, you get to go take a little break, but we're going to bring in some more talent. So Ash is back. Echo Gaming is joining us as well. We're going to hop into the play-ins for Brawl Stars. And look, if you want to get involved, folks, over on social media with, all the games we have here on a recap show with Brawl Stars, whatever it may be, ! social down there in the chat. And of course, Glitter, sign-ups.
Sign up so I can see you guys here next time, okay? Otherwise, you better go enjoy some Brawl Stars.
Absolutely. We're going to head to a short break. Hit ! Sign up. When we come back, Ash and Echo are here. We're getting into the Brawl Stars plan. Thanks so much, Glitter. We'll see you in a week and a bit. And for the rest of you, we'll see you in a couple minutes. We'll be right back.
Feel the light, see the stage, hear the vibe. Pumped up to get ready for the fight. Big dreams, one chance, be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the weight's up. That's how we know when we level up. Ay, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. What your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up.